Welcome. Thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Karmen, your quantum career transition coach and your quantum mind body therapy life coach. As a former worker in corporate land, I was tired of my unfulfilling job, knowing there's more to life than working and living on repeat. All I ever wanted to do was follow my passions, make a difference for others, and get paid for doing what I love. My journey has definitely been an interesting one, and that's what makes it so powerful. This podcast is for job seekers who are unfulfilled in their current dead end job. I help them by overcoming inner blocks and elevating their identity using quantum coaching tools so that they can rediscover their passions, have clarity in who they are, and have confidence with their direction and their career transition to truly live their purpose. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. Your why and your purpose is what drives your business, and your business makes an impact daily. In this new series, I'm talking with leaders and discovering how they're making an impact and intentionally living their purpose each day. So often we think we don't make an impact, and we do. So let's meet our guest. Welcome to another podcast episode. Today, I have Victoria Odekomaya with me. We're going to be talking about her business. She's going to share her story, her why, and her purpose. And I'm very excited to hear from you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So a little bit of background about Victoria. Victoria Odekomaya is a Nigerian American creative director. She's a marketing strategist, award-winning photographer, and founder of LiMStudios. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. A creative agency and content studio helping entrepreneurs build profitable brands through bold visibility, compelling storytelling, and content that converts. With nearly 20 years in drug research and a 23-year journey to U.S. citizenship, she now empowers female founders to become seen, known, and remembered. I love that. I love the remembered piece. Her work has helped raise over $30,000 for nonprofits while amplifying the stories of powerful women through Boss Ladies magazine and her podcast, Own Your Brand Show. And thank you for joining me.
I appreciate this is so cool for me because I'm usually in my studio interviewing people, but I get to be interviewed. This is so cool.
And everybody now gets to hear your story and the evolution, because we met several years ago when I worked here part-time. We're at Nexus Impact Center. And I see you on socials and I've seen you grow. And it's almost like when you got your new space, everything just flooded in for you.
Oh my God. Yes.
Is that true?
That is, I think back now and I'm like, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. I just needed that space to expand into what's supposed to be, So thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I think that we don't get to sit back and think about our journey, and even I don't do that enough. So just you sharing that, I'm like, oh, that is true.
I'm like you know. Well, so I saw your work, your photography work at different networking events through the Boss Ladies magazine. You bring it. Mm-hmm. And I saw some people in there who I knew. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, who is this Victoria lady and what does she do? And I'm nosy.
It's okay.
So share with everybody kind of where you started from and that your passion for photography, where it came from.
So I used to do drugs, and I wanted to say it that way because I was like, wait, what? But I was a scientist and I made drugs for about 18 years in the lab, making a lot of the drugs that we actually have here in the market now. I wanted to be a doctor, but God took me in a different direction, but I loved it. But in between that, I knew that I needed to find a way to creatively, just explore my creativity. Yeah. I enjoyed what I was doing at work, but I wasn't really fulfilled. Mm-hmm. So I went back to school for filmmaking. And then after that, I relocated to Indianapolis and I had my first baby. But in between that, I realized that carrying all the cameras and the gear, the lighting, and all to go film something was just too cumbersome. This was like 15 years ago. But then it was easy to just grab the camera and just snap the photos. Like, oh, I guess I can.
You can do that.
Right. So, I started self-training myself on photography. I found some mentors that I really liked at their work. And that's how I really started. So the filmmaking was the learned part. Like I went to school for filmmaking, but the photography was more of like a self-taught thing. But the truth is that there are a lot of crossovers between the two. So yeah, so I just picked up my camera. I knew I wanted to photograph businesses. I've always been really interested in advertising. So I'm the one person where, you know how back in the day when we're playing a movie or watching TV, then you go for an ad break. I sit for the ad break. I'm like, let me see what it is. Because I enjoy the story.
Yeah.
It's captivating. I'm always curious about how did they come up with that idea that, that resonates, right? So the one of my mentors, she does mostly fashion photography. She would bring in, hair, makeup stylist, wardrobe, like it's a whole thing. And I was wondering, I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like everyday people don't typically, we just go take a headshot, family, back, there. So I wanted to create something that focused on female entrepreneurs, but also give them a wonderful experience that is not an everyday thing. But as I became like a business owner, I began to realize the challenges that it took to start a business. Like you're wearing so many different hats on top of being a mom, a wife, and everything else that we do. And it was like, oh my, this is a lot. And I think that, especially during the pandemic, which was when I started out, it's like seeing a lot of people, like we were just so stressed out.
Yeah.
It was so difficult. So it just made so much sense for me to combine the two, and that was when I was like, okay, this is so needed. It wasn't just, just taking photos. I wanted to give women that space to come feel loved, feel pampered, but also take images that would help them show up as their true authentic self and market to the ideal audience. So I combine that element of just the luxury of just the pampering, but also helping you tell your stories in images.
So the pampering, they can actually come and you have somebody do hair and makeup, and then you take the photos.
Absolutely,
Okay.
because I am not a professional hair makeup artist. I know my lane, but I have amazing people that I work with, where they understand the vision. We know that the woman is there and we want to pamper them. We also serve wine and chocolate covered strawberries. I go the distance to do what your favorite music is. So I'm playing the music, to set the atmosphere. It's really important for me that the lady feels so relaxed, so great as we're, talking and just listening to her and, getting her hair done and the makeup and all that. Because it's intimidating, scary to, a lot of the people that I photographed, I remember when I started, they didn't even, the last time they had makeup done was at their wedding.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And now you're trying to be in front of camera and, we have a lot of insecurities, our tummy, all of that. So I really wanted them to just feel pampered and relaxed and just a really great atmosphere so that when they get in front of the camera, they're like, oh yeah. Yeah. So and for me, really, that helped me then get to capture their authentic self. Because then they're not trying to be something or they're not tensed up, they're relaxed and we can capture really great images that showcases who they are and speaks to their target audience too.
Okay, and then how was this born?
The magazine.
Yes, how was the magazine? So it's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, so it started the year that I started my business too. And so while we were doing makeup and hair for like an hour and a half in the first section, we would hear stories about how they overcame something or where they started from, like kind of like how you do on your, just hearing their origin story and things like that. And I'm like, first of all, I used to think I was the only one because sometimes we can be siloed as business owners. But as I heard their stories, I'm like, oh my, you too? Oh my, that's inspiring. So I thought, look, I'm not the only person that needs to be hearing this. My cup was filled up with everyone that I photographed. So I thought that it was a great opportunity to like package all the stories together. We already have the photos. We just need to like put the story together and put it out there. So that's how we started, just sharing the stories. And what I'm finding is that it not only helps inspire other people, but it also helps them market themselves too. Because then people can know, like, and trust them because they can feel them as humans. Yeah. So that's how the magazine started with being so this is the newest version. We are getting ready to do the September edition. It started as a yearly magazine, but now we're now a quarterly magazine. Yeah. So thank you. Thank It's growing, and we were able to partner with NABO. NABO is National Association of Women Business Owners here in Indianapolis. They wanted to share their stories. They've been in the community for about 28 years. So we wanted to share their story and just help people understand the impact that they're making, and also help see how we can connect more people to be a part of the organization and get some of the benefits that the organization has to offer.
So is it the Nabo ladies who are in this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Nabo ladies are in this one. We spoke about the story of how Nabo started, all the things that the ladies, there were ladies that started their businesses on the kitchen table, and now they're multi-millionaires. And these are women that when I photographed them, I was like, oh my God, this can be me too. Because, like a lot of times when we see, all these online celebrities, or, they seem to be so far away. But we have people in our communities that are crushing it.
Oh, yeah.
So for me to be able to touch them, photograph them, tell their story, it gives me hope that no matter how hard this journey is of the entrepreneur, right? I can do that too.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that I really love about the magazine. What it's turning to be, just sharing that story of inspiration, and also just giving someone hope and inspiration, really.
And these are quarterly now?
Yes, these are quarterly now.
So now is each quarter a different focus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Each quarter is a different focus. We've explored different things that we want to do. Nabo came on board because he loved what we were doing, which I didn't even mention. I every year my goal is to raise $10,000 for a local nonprofit organization through the magazine. So every time we've done this, we've raised $10,000. So for each organization, we've helped Pink Ribbon Connection. We work with Dove Recovery House. Then this version helped raise $10,000 for the Nabo Foundation, Foundation.
Okay.
So thankfully, like, it's not just sharing stories, but we're also doing a good deed in our community.
And then how do you distribute those? Like, can any of the listeners?
Absolutely. So yeah, for right now, this is free to, because we're really pushing the stories. So this is free for anyone that wants to pick it up. We also have an online version. If anyone wants to order multiple copies, we can do that. But it's free. We have them all over, really. A lot of people say, like, I found it at Kroger, I found that, So yeah, it is available. But online, it's available too for people that wants to read the magazine.
Nice. That's awesome. And then are there ways in there to connect with the different ladies?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a marketer. We got to do that. Okay. So all the stories pretty much ends with some kind of contact information on how to contact the women.
That's awesome.
Or get to know them, their website, or whatever it is that they provided us to put in the magazine.
Okay. And before we started, you mentioned that things have shifted for you. So let's talk about, what does that look like now for you?
So I started with film, and then I went to photography, and a lot of people knows me as a photographer.
Yeah.
And then the Boss Ladies magazine. But as I've, like you said, I opened up the studio earlier this year. I can't believe it's almost 6 months already. Oh my God. So I used to photograph in my garage. So turned my two-car garage into, a studio, and we'll do the photos and video shoot there. But now we're a full service content marketing agency.
Okay.
So with the studio, that gives us the opportunity to do so much more. So we have a podcast studio in there, video first podcast. We have over 10 sets where people can create different types of content.
Okay.
But it's not just creating content. So over there, we can create photos, videos, podcasts. But what we do now is then helping people to take that content and turn it into visibility, and also helping them drive client acquisition. So a lot of the women that I photograph, they would come to me, and one of the first questions I ask them is, what are these photos for? What do you want? And a lot of them, people will say, I want it for marketing. But half the time I struggle, I see them not even use it like the way we've talked about, because so I was like, well, I think there's something there, but I understand we're so busy. A lot of people are not able to do social media for themselves, for instance. So what I do now is help them not only create the content, but also use the content to actually drive results. So we will help them with the social media piece. We help with email marketing. We help with advertising, so Facebook ads, all the other things like that. So we'll have the conversation. How many clients are you trying to acquire? What are the goals? We'll use those goals to create a specific marketing plan, and that will drive the type of content that we create, as well as the marketing plan that way. So we do it for you, so you don't have to even worry about doing it.
So what about, and I know the term, I haven't done one yet, the B-roll, like create B-rolls for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So B-roll is just basically footage that you use to supplement the main footage. So yes. So the way we typically love to work with people is like we either create content for you every month or every quarter, however, whatever you want and what your goals are. But as we're doing that, we're building your library of content that you can use forever. So those can eventually become B-roll, in other types of footage too.
And your focus is female entrepreneurs, correct?
Yes, but we love our men too. So we are expanding. So that's another change here. We're expanding to local business owners, specifically service business owners, because I'm a service business owner, and I think that one of the things that makes me unique in this area is like I'm serving people that have the similar struggles like I do. As a woman, I understand the struggles, and that's why I feel like I was successful in that area. As a service business owner that has a brick and mortar, like that's a whole different conversation, right? Levels of struggles. So we're not just serving the women, which I love. Look, we're keeping it, but we're expanding to service-based businesses because we need those clients to keep coming, not only for our finances or revenue, but also to help them. That just means that there's a lot of need out there. Yeah. So we serving our clients is helping to solve someone's problems, and I'm all about that.
Yeah. And why is that for you? Like what's that? Where's the passion come from?
I think for me, it's because I know, so I'm a Christian, and I believe that when people are praying for a breakthrough or a miracle, I know that God is not going to necessarily come, although He can come down and say, "Ooh, that's it," right? But He often uses other people to answer that question, prayer. And the way I know this happens, at least in my life, is using my giftings and my talents to be a blessing to other people. So I feel like this is so important to me because if someone is asking, oh man, I really want to help, I really want to do my website, I don't know how to do, I don't know what to do, I need photos. If I use my talent to help that person create those photos that will help them stand out, that is the answered prayer. So it's important to me because there are so many people out there. There's 8 billion of people on the face of the earth, and we all have one struggle or the other, one problem or the other. But God has given the talents, the skills, everything that we need to help each other solve that problem. And for me, it's important that we connect those people together. And that's why I do what I do.
Who was that person for you? Who helped you?
Let's
see. Or did you have like a group of people who helped you at one point in time?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. So when I started, I talked about this mentor. She doesn't even know me. She was someone I found online, and I just absolutely love their work. So that's one. I also have personal mentors and coaches for me too, that I work with, and they, like I see that they're already doing what I would love to do, and so I, study under them. I make myself a student because I know that I don't know everything, and I want to learn. I want to be better. I want to be more efficient. I want to be able to make more impact. So I definitely encourage having a mentor, a coach, someone that would help guide you. The other reason is that I can be a perfectionist, so sometimes the desire to want to be perfect hold me down. So I'm like, but they're like, get on with it, So that's one thing, but also someone that just guides you. And I remember one person that and she's still my mentor right now. She's a photographer and she does a lot more than photography now, but she just kind of poured it. We had like one session and that just lit up my whole world. She was just telling me, this is what you need to do. And it helped me focus because I think for business owners too, we tend to want to do so much. I mean, there's really a lot on our plate, but she was able to help me just focus on these things. And that just opened a door that I would have struggled to, stumble on. And it was just helpful. So
your biggest impact, what do you think your biggest impact with your business currently? Because I believe like you've had impact, everybody has impact, or what I call a thumbprint along the way. I feel like for you it's getting bigger and bigger. So what do you think it is now?
That's a good question. I struggle to That's probably one of the things I struggle with the most because I always wonder if I'm making an impact. And I always wonder if any of the things that I do even is worth it. And this morning I was having a conversation with someone that I have a lot of respect for. And she was like, when I picked up the magazine, like it really resonated with me. I love the way it was, done and everything. And I was like, thank you for saying that to me because maybe that's a self-esteem thing. Maybe that's an impulse. I don't even know what it is, but that was reassuring for me to think that I'm actually making an impact in that regard. So if I were to like the impact that I would love to have, my legacy, I think, would be one that empowers women or even business owners to use the gifts that they've been given to impact this world.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like no one should have to take their gifts to the grave. Use it. You've been given this talent, just use it. So I think for me, just as inspiring people, pushing people to where pushing beyond that boundary and helping them do what they think is impossible, just making what that reality. Like one thing for me that gets me so excited or fired up is like when I hear someone's like, I have this, I want to do something, and I'm like, but I don't know how to. I'm like, look, let's break this down. Yeah. What is the struggle? I love overcoming barriers like that because for me, I feel like nothing is impossible. I strongly believe that, especially as a child of God, like I have a God that created the heavens and the earth, and with His words. So I'm like, if you look, let's it's not that difficult.
Yes.
Let's figure it out. So that's what I'm hoping would be something, like the impact that I have, just helping people go beyond their obstacle, overcome their obstacle, and becoming who they're meant to be.
I think for you, you see the impact, but you haven't heard about the impact yet. Right? So a lot of times it's feedback. So the same thing for the podcast. I see the numbers behind the scenes. And I see the areas and the countries. And until I actually hear from someone, so I know it's making an impact because people are listening. And they continue to listen, and I can see how they consume. Right? And the podcast is different than the programs because the programs I can hear directly from the clients. So it's almost like now you get to hear from the clients that you have. And the feedback.
And I think that's also because I'm very results oriented. So I need to know that what I'm doing is making an impact. So the way I design my new program, everything that I'm doing right now, is like we have a conversation. What are your goals? Are we trying to hit like 30 new clients by 6 months time? Let's work that, figure out what that looks like. Create a special marketing plan for you, and then we'll track it. Because even if the person never tells me that, oh, you're doing it, oh, this is working, I can see the numbers and be like, yeah, we got that, we went above and beyond. So
Is there anything you'd like to share before we end the podcast here that you haven't talked about yet?
Let's see. I think for me, I want to really encourage anyone listening out there, if you have something that you have in your heart that you're supposed to be doing, whatever that is, I want to encourage you to just take a bold step and just, go for it. Seek out the help. I mean, I know you're helping people in your area. You said something before we started out about, how people often like think of the future, but not we're in the now in the quantum space, right? So like seek out people like you that can help, up realize what that looks like. We need to be living in our dominion right now.
Correct.
100%. So I just want to encourage anyone listening out there, like you've got what it takes. Seek out the help to become who God has created you to be.
100%. And that's what I do. Live on purpose course. That's what I do. Because I believe that we all have gifts. And a lot of times we don't even know what the gifts are. And we're seeking outside of ourselves and looking for someone else to tell us what they are. And that's why sometimes people get frustrated with me because I won't tell you what they are because it's for you to figure out. It's your gifts that you've been given by God. And then how are you going to go use them?
You're the guide, just helping them guide through the process. It's amazing.
And that's why I like to hear from people like yourself, because you've said, I don't know the how. But think about where you went from. You were determined for a reason. So you had a strong why that you were going to do this. And your why was so strong that no matter what, obstacle came,
Right.
you just went through that obstacle.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to get people to, right? Is their strong why.
Oh my God.
Because otherwise, where would you be?
Right. I would definitely not be here right now.
Yeah. Having this conversation.
Yes.
And I feel like every so many months I see you. I saw you earlier this year at a networking event.
Yeah.
And I see you online, and I'm kind of like, we need to have this conversation. It's time.
Overdue, long overdue.
Yeah. So for people who want to connect with you, where would you like for them to connect with you?
Yeah, so the best way to connect with me would probably be on my website, or even I'm on social media. I'm very active on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
So on my website, you'll find all the information for my phone number, my email address, best contact. If someone was out there looking to maybe be featured in the magazine or sponsor the magazine, it comes out every quarter. The next one's coming out in September and then December, and then we just go back every quarter like that. I would love to hear from them. One of the things that I do is this is not just for show, but this is really kind of tapping into the why too, and telling their story. And I'm finding that even in exploring that, it's getting people to be more clear.
Correct.
And so it's doing a lot more things than just, the outward showcase, which is great too. There's nothing wrong with that, because we need to show, excuse me, we have to be out there, right? But telling the story helps people reflect.
Yeah.
Then it also helps connect with other people that will be reading the story, because we really need people to know, like, and trust us before they even do business or whatever it is that, connect with us in different ways. So yeah, I would say my website has all the details, and including for the magazine, as well as LinkedIn and Instagram.
And I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes, and then the people who are watching the video, there'll be a QR code as well. Anything else?
No,
have we covered everything?
I think so.
I feel like you do so many different amazing things for people, and I'm always seeing something pop up on my timeline, and I'm like, look at her go.
I appreciate it.
Well, I think we're harder on ourselves sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so thank you for honoring yourself through this whole journey.
Thank you.
And for putting your heart out there, because that's really what it is you're putting a piece of yourself in this work that you do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't think we realize just how valuable it is to share a piece of ourselves and our gifts with other people, especially today, right? In the world of AI, and instead of that, there's no authenticity in that. And
it's even more important.
You have always been you, right? Since the first day I met you.
You can tell by the accent, all of the things. It's all there, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And if you are curious about your why, your purpose, the next Live on Purpose course will be live soon. Make sure to follow along, hearts-joy.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, sending you much love. Take care.